Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Carbonite Convos podcast. This is podcast number 19, and we're going to have a little more Mando talk. We have another chapter in the Mandalorian story to break down and just go over today with some of our thoughts and theories. And I'm excited to get into it for sure because that was a really fun episode. I'm here with my co-host, Alec Porterfield, a.k.a. Wallcrawler Pops on Instagram. Alec, what's up, man?
Oh, the usual, man, chilling, excited to get into some Mando. I'm actually kind of excited because we haven't had the opportunity to really talk about anything since we watched it.
Since our reaction.
I went ahead and rewatched it another time, but definitely have some thoughts and takeaways from it that I'm excited about personally.
Oh, definitely. And right before we get into that, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms and podcast platforms at Carbonite Convos. And if this is your first time joining us, first, welcome to Carbonite Convos, and you have just taken your first step into a larger world. But don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and hit the bell button if you want to be notified when another video comes out. But I think that's it. Let's go right into this episode. Alec, I know you had some thoughts about the first thing you wanted to talk about, so let's hear it.
Yeah, so I just want to go first things first to the name of the episode itself, The Tragedy. In my opinion, I don't know if that name was fitting.
And
there's nothing.
In what way?
Nothing has been that tragic yet. Yes, the whole concept of Grogu getting taken and the Razor Crest being destroyed, and obviously just him being in a just crap situation is terrible. But it hasn't been anything yet that can't be redeemed. I don't want to say easily, but in the plot of Star Wars, like it's you get what I'm saying?
Yes. In the end, good trumps evil, and I think that's what we're seeing right now. Because, like you said, you're right. I don't know if The Tragedy was the best name. I loved it. And if for anybody who watched our reactions, you know that oh my goodness, I was freaked out right when we saw that because I was expecting the worst. When you hear the word tragedy, that's a deep word. Like, that hits hard. So to see that at the very beginning of the episode, they're basically telling you, we're gonna hurt your feelings this episode. That's what we're going to do. And you have to sit here for 35 minutes and wait for it to happen. So the whole time, something's gonna go down. And
see, I like the concept of that. I like the thought of, okay, I'm gonna let you know right now this is gonna suck. Suffer through it. Like that, but again, I don't think it fit the category or the prompts of what it ended up being.
For sure, because if that's there, I feel like there aren't many words that are more, how do I say it? They're more serious than tragedy. If you experience a tragedy, that's usually known as like the worst thing. The worst thing that can happen to a person, like a death in the family or something like that. So if the tragedy is just him getting stolen, I'm okay with that because, like you said, this is nothing that can't be done in Star Wars. We've seen it across 3 trilogies, 2 outside movies, and 2 movies not on the main line, in books, comics. We've seen it all. So if history tells us anything about Star Wars, it's that Baby Grogu will be back with Mando and the whole crew soon. And we will get into the crew later today.
I did see an article.
Let's hear it.
That the next 2 episodes could potentially be, or pretty much rumored to be, 2 of the most intense things we've ever seen from a Star Wars platform.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
This is just what I read, and part of me wants that to happen. Be like, all right, let's see this thing. But on the other hand, I also don't want any tragic event that happened to Grogu or Mando. But I don't know. We're in a time for Star Wars where like things like this show in particular is getting so much traction that I kind of like the concept and the direction that it's going with this whole type of event where they're really, really going to pull on our heartstrings.
Well, think of how at the end of the first season, our heroes, they finish it off with a win. And then you see the cliffhanger of Moff Gideon with the Darksaber. Up until that point, like, we still had not seen anything wildly sad. Queel dying, that sucked. That sucked for all of us. But there was nothing crazy that happened that really sat with us in the negative emotional side. Now we have seen that this beloved character who has become an icon for the world, this beloved character just got stolen. He's a baby. He just got taken by the newly formed Imperials. And, talking about that, I thought it was really cool I thought it was really intense when Boba said, they're back. Because, he's worked for the Empire.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well.
We saw Vader hire him. He's worked for the Empire on a good several times, but that doesn't mean that he agrees with wanting them to be the rulers of the galaxy.
End of the day, you got to chase that check.
Exactly. He just did what he had to do to get paid because he was the best. Now it's confirmed that he is the best. There used to be a question, but now.
Right, because you never really saw him do anything badass or anything like that, really.
Not really.
You just saw him get killed like an idiot.
Yep. So I just thought it was really interesting hearing him. Like, he sounded worried that the Empire was back.
Well, while we're talking about Boba, let's dive into him a little bit more about him, the concept of him in this episode, man. We saw him when we saw Slave 1 fly in. Dude, that was pretty hype, man.
Yeah. Yep. What was your first thought?
It obviously was Boba. Like, there was no way around the question that it could have been anybody else.
See, mine was, I was like, my gut tells me Boba's in there, but it also kind of tells me that there might be someone else in it, and they're doing this to throw us off, get us talking about Boba Fett and Slave One again. Because up until this episode, you don't really hear a lot of Boba talk because you get a lot of Bo-Katan and Ahsoka, very understandable, especially Ahsoka. So this was the first time we hear Boba again. So I was partially thinking, like, what if that's just the ship? What if he's not in it? But then when you see the robe step out, I knew it was him.
Yeah. How cool would that, now that you say that, how cool of a concept would it have been? Say that was somebody else, and at the same time we're seeing Din and Grogu grow together and all that sort of things. There's also the return to glory from Boba.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the same, his ship's gone. Someone has a ship. Okay. Someone has, like, now Din has his armor. Like, those sort of things, and then him redeeming himself, becoming another type of hero. I don't know. I could have gotten on board with that.
And you look at how it ended up. He may be doing it just because he's in debt to Mando, but we're going to see him on the good side. At least, right. I hope, because I can't see him being a traitor or anything like that. Like, he's loyal.
Dude. How do you say it? How do you say it? Tamora Morrison.
Tamura Morrison.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can never say it right. Dude, it's so good seeing him back. I'm actually kind of angry at the community because everyone's not the Star Wars community in general, just a couple fans in general. They
hold up
of the guy for being a little heavier set than he was at.
Sorry, you broke up for a minute, but I got the gist of it.
Yeah, like
making fun of him.
Yeah, he's a little out of shape. They're calling him Boba Fett and stuff like that. Like, bro, he's old, man. Like, that happens when you get old. Like,
he did this as a fan tribute. He did this for the fans and for the check, I'm sure. But when I remember seeing a video about when he got the role for Jango Fett. I don't even think he had seen Star Wars up until that point. So he had to go watch these. They told him, yeah, you're going to be Boba Fett's dad. And he's like, who's Boba Fett? And he had to go watch the movie. So he's not a big, well, at least before he got the role, he wasn't a big Star Wars fan. And now he came back as a tribute to him. Not a tribute, but Boba was set up in the original trilogy. Tamura Morrison came in 2003, 2002, when Attack of the Clones came out. he came in as a tribute to Boba Fett because now he's playing his father. Now he gets the opportunity to play the original Mandalorian, the original Fett, Boba Fett. And I think you're absolutely right. They're kind of, these thoughts are a little different, but it does also make me mad that people are just making fun of him because they have to pick out the one negative thing. And it's
Right.
like, can't you just enjoy it? You know, we've said it ever since we started this channel that, you know, for lack of better terms, we will enjoy what they give us because we're fans. You know, I will take it how it is. I don't like things as much as I like others, but we take it. So these people have to find something to gnaw at, you know, but
No doubt.
they don't speak for the whole community.
No, it is frustrating a little bit, but end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think you know, fans like us are gonna appreciate it. End of the day, no matter
we
what.
love it.
So.
Yep. And for the most part, everybody loves it, man. I've seen so many awesome Boba Fett things on Twitter and Instagram, and it's just great that one of these beloved characters is back.
No doubt.
But let's
get so with Boba, okay.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 big takeaways, and I'd say the first one is there's no way that he doesn't train Din how to use that spear.
I agree.
That's going to be awesome. It's going to be cool seeing Boba like old and wise and obviously beat the crap.
Because clearly he knows how to use something like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so number 2, the chain code that gets shown. Obviously, when he proves to Din that Jango was a foundling.
There's some big stories in that chain code.
Right. I saw like a translation or something like that, and they couldn't translate it completely because of how the hologram was like faded and like cut off in some places and stuff, and probably a little bit destroyed because the armor's pretty beat up.
Yep.
There was a few things in there talking about like Concord Dawn, where Jango obviously grew up. Was he born or grow up there?
Did we want to get into the chain code right now, or did we want to continue with the episode?
I mean, I have thoughts about it right now.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, so there's that. Talking about Father Fett. So I don't know. Is that the first Fett? Is that Jango's dad? Is that, I don't know. And there was proof in there that Jango fought in the Mandalorian Civil War as well,
which is really cool.
We know that, but like that's awesome. They didn't give us everything about the character, but they gave us a few really cool things that are like kind of satisfies us and kind of hold us over. You know what I'm saying?
The one that stuck out to me was when it said mentor, like Jaster, but a couple of the letters were out because in the video we have on our channel from a few months back, Jaster Muriel is who adopted Jango as his son when Jango's family was killed. So he took him in as a foundling, but that was the legend story up until now. But we don't know how they connect canonically right now. But the fact that they mentioned Jaster Muriel and Concord Dawn is a big step because those were a big part of his legend story. So I think the lore is really starting to come out for Mandalorians, and we've been seeing that.
That was a good word. Canonically,
I thought that was a word.
No, nice. That was just
but yeah, it was,
little golf clap.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was really interesting though, man. I loved hearing him say, sorry, let me take a step back. First, his accent. He sounded exactly how I thought Boba Fett would sound. But we'll mention that if you have any thoughts later. But when he comes in and says, I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the galaxy. Just a simple man trying to make his way in the galaxy. Something like that. I automatically thought of Jango, and I was like, that was so funny. I was like,
and confirmed that
like
that
funny, like funny, like emotionally, like, oh man, we're getting Easter eggs of every trilogy in this show, and I just love it. But what were you saying?
No, and just the fact that it was proven that's Jango's armor.
Yeah,
because we didn't know for sure or not. I think that's really dope.
Yep, it's his father's. It's Jango's armor, which I had always questioned that too, and I'd even looked it up, and it's like the answer never really stuck with me, like what exactly had happened between the two. But now it's the same armor, which I think is really cool.
No doubt,
I definitely like that.
And then number 3 of my list is definitely like we're about to see Din and Boba team up, along with a few others as well, kind of like an Ocean's 11 vibe.
Never seen it.
You never seen the Oceans? Really?
No.
I highly recommend. So
I'll try them out. If I can take a guess, I assume in Ocean's 11 there was just this team that formed.
pretty much.
So, like, man, I can't wait to see this.
There's 4 of them. There's like Ocean's 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Man.
So
Gotta
before we
watch.
get onto the team and what happened in the rest of the episode with Baby Yoda, the Force, all that stuff, let's kind of finish up with some Django stuff. How about his fighting style? We talked about it for a little bit after our reaction video, but what do you think of it?
Well, like his fighting in general, or like the out, or anything about it.
Just when the fight scenes we saw of what Boba was doing, like,
Bro,
what are your thoughts?
I think it made him look like an even bigger badass because of the stormtroopers. Like, those stormtroopers were actually pretty solid. Like, those were probably some of the better fighters we've seen in a while, right? In the grand scheme of things when it comes to stormtroopers. But like the outcome of them, like the cracked helmet, like the literally like putting a spear through the chest, like we've never really seen that.
That type of brutality.
But with him, it adds to it, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think it's very fitting. Like that's how Boba would fight. He's gruesome. He's not sorry about anything. So
I've just thought of something. Remember when we talked about it like a few minutes ago when Boba says they're back?
Mm-hmm.
Why did he say that when he saw the cruiser
and not the stormtroopers?
Maybe the only thing I can think of is maybe he just thinks it's like this like little squad of troopers, but then he sees a full-on destroyer.
Well, maybe it was just along the lines of like the intensity of how much they're back.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
You see some stormtroopers. Damn.
That's what I'm saying.
Like a small type of thing, and then he sees the Star Destroyer, and he's like, "Oh,
they're back." Or did they ever leave? Oh man, yeah, it was crazy. But yes, you're going back to his fighting style. It was so unique to see that because, like you said earlier, we've never gotten to see this type of Boba Fett action, and we're finally getting it. That's proving he's a badass, and just seeing the way he tore those stormtroopers apart, it was totally how I could imagine Boba always would do it. And I like that right when he comes in, he makes a reference about his death. He makes a reference sometime. What does it say? Sometimes, like fate. I don't know. It says something about it. He says something about his death after Din realizes that that Fennec is still alive. He says sometimes fate favors the rich.
Oh, on Tatooine.
Yes,
and then Fennec says, and this time my fate rests with Boba Fett or something.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
but like focusing on just what Boba said, it's interesting hearing him talk about him getting out of the Sarlacc pit, because he's like, fate favors the wretched. And so I don't even want to know what he's been through. I do want to know.
That's a dope saying. The fate favors the wretched. That sounds badass.
It was intense. By the way, a little off topic. I've never seen a picture of what a sarlacc looks like. Like if you're looking at it through the sand, like if his mouth is here, what it looks like under, It is disgusting.
Oh, sure.
It's repulsive. I was like, what the hell am I looking at? It was just a disgusting, slimy alien. Like, if Jabba's a 5, this thing would be a 10. Like, it was nuts.
So one thing I do want to know about Boba's fighting, like, what is that based on?
Like, where do you get the training from?
Well, that I'm talking about like the more like what is it based off in real life? Like, what kind of fighting style? Like, how like different saber techniques are modeled after like certain types of fighting, the samurai and stuff like that. I just want to know what his is based off of.
I don't know, but I do know. I saw something about the weapon, and I can't remember what Morrison's ethnic background is, but it's some type of it's some island. He's an island native, and the spear. Those are the ones the Tusken uses too. The spears were modeled after some. Part of it is like what a Tusken would use, but they were modeled after the weapons of his country's or island's origin.
Oh, that's really dope.
Yeah, so he was using it, and it was a throwback to that. Well, not throwback, but it was a
Like a gesture toward it.
yes, exactly. And it
No,
was.
that's
I just thought that was
sweet.
really cool. Yeah, definitely.
That's really dope. Huh.
Yeah.
All right, so you ready to move on to
Hold
little
on.
Grogu action?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh
One
god.
more thought.
What you got?
Well, two things. One, and there's not much to talk about it. I loved seeing him fly Slave One. That was awesome. He flew it. It was just natural. It was right seeing Boba Fett pilot Slave One again and getting some real action. So I thought that was cool.
No doubt.
Secondly, how about the minute he shows up in his armor? How nuts was that?
That goes back to like when he saw the Razor Crest open and he knew that his armor was in there. I wonder. This makes me realize, like, especially to the point we made earlier, like we can't see him being a traitor or wanting to work with the Empire potentially again.
Yeah,
he could have easily snagged that ship and like left him for dead.
Yeah, but I don't think he would have.
I don't think he would have done that. But like, I think it just adds to the effect of it. But he did know his armor was in there. He goes, "Screw this! I'm taking this now." Exactly. And then he pops in behind the one trooper.
That's what I'm saying. You just
and
see
the
him
only
land.
thing you can see is his the antenna thing, the scope thing, and we're like, "Ooh, son!"
The stormtrooper falls, and you just see his silhouette and just the green and red, and just this battered armor, and you're like, "He's back! Here he is! Here he is!" All right. So now what we've been waiting to talk about: Grogu, Baby Yoda, the Force, the Tesseract, wormhole. Let's talk about it.
The ether.
The ether? No.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I know. I know.
You're an idiot. Okay, so when he finally reaches that state of meditation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, before I get it, what were your first thoughts about that?
My first thought was just pure shock. Not shock in a bad way, but I really quickly realized, I was like, this is the first time you've ever seen the Force like this. You know, you see Force lightning, but for the most part, the Force is something you can't see.
Right.
And it was interesting being able to see it. I think you used the word like aura on the reaction, and I like that a lot. Like you're actually seeing this what
physical substance.
Yes. What do you even exactly? I don't even know what to call it. Really, like it penetrates. It binds everything in the galaxy together. So how do you describe what that would look like? And we're seeing this almost wormhole looking thing. I compared it to the Avengers in the reaction. I'll do it again, man. I first started thinking about the Tesseract, especially when Din tried to get in there and get him out, and he just got flung back. It was spot on with the Tesseract. And I wonder if that's any type of homage at all. It might be with Favreau, but I could definitely see it. I just thought that was awesome.
No doubt. So my first reaction, I mean, I think this was pretty much everybody's, is like the first thing I thought of was like, oh, who is he speaking to right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if this is actually.
Did you think he was speaking to someone?
Not necessarily speaking to somebody, but what my brain automatically went to, like, that scene in Rebels, that arc in Rebels where Ezra opens up the Jedi Temple and it goes back and saves Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Was it being something like that? Not like going back in time or anything like that. The veil of the Force. Was him being in that set, like in that room, whatever
reality,
you classify it.
dimension.
That reality.
I'd say
right.
Dimension.
Dimension. That's a good one. That's what I thought he went to right away.
Really, I thought it was interesting how he almost looked older when he was doing that. I got very big Yoda vibes, and I know that's very cliche to compare Baby Yoda to Yoda, but you see Yoda meditating, you can tell he's very deep in thought. Whatever he's doing, he is truly feeling this meditation. And you look at Baby Yoda just sitting there. It was like the close up on his face, like this close. All you see is his face, and then the rings or the energy around him. And it was just it was really cool to see him look so
Experienced,
engulfed, yes, with the Force.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
don't know.
I didn't look at it as the
cool.
Veil of the Force type of way. I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know if they'd bring that to live action, but why not? It's canon.
It would make sense,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Especially like what Ahsoka said. It was like, put him on the Seeing Stone on the top of the mountain and let him meditate or whatever, and hopefully a Jedi will hear him or come find him or whatever exactly she said. I wonder if he had to physically speak to someone, or is it going to be like a presence thing? Like, I can feel there's something here. Or is it going to be like, hey Luke, hey bro, come get me. Like,
Come get me. And what I'm curious about is, why does he have to be on that rock to do it?
Am I on it? It was probably just the closest one.
Closest what?
Temple.
No, but like, why does it have to be at a temple?
I mean, isn't that not where the Force is the strongest?
Oh, yes, it is. And like, now that you think about it, when you see people doing like training using the Force as a way of communication, it usually is at a temple. Like it is
sacred grounds.
Exactly. It is most of the time in Rebels, when we see Yoda pop up, it's in a temple. So that is interesting. Who do you think would be the most likely people to come get him? And it's hard to say.
I think that answer depends on if we ever find out if these events take place before or after the very ending of Rebels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's before that, probably Luke. But if it's after, probably Ezra. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's how they find Ezra.
Well, why is okay. Yeah, no, I get you. I got you. Because if they haven't found Ezra yet, but I mean, you can make an argument that either way it's him reaching out to Ezra. I saw maybe you sent it to me, but let's talk about it. I saw a TikTok where they were talking about in the Rise of Skywalker, the scene that is a flashback to Luke and Leia training. Was it you who sent this to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When they fell
flashes
down.
back, yes, flashes to Luke and Leia. Leia bests Luke.
This is the events of Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. Luke's on the ground, and he pulls up his blaster shield helmet, or his blaster shield, or whatever it is, his shield,
the mask thing,
face shield. He pulls it up, and Leia, you see her face too, and they exchange a look. You don't really think much of it.
At the time, you think it has something to do with. Actually, I don't even know.
At the time, I didn't think of it as anything special. I just think, okay, clearly they needed to show us their faces, or else we
would have no idea it was like.
Yeah, you don't know 100% it's them. So I just figured, okay, that was just them showing us it was them. But if it is true, sorry, I didn't even complete the TikTok. That moment when they fall down, they exchange this look. That was possibly them feeling Grogu's presence. So I think
it would have been around that same time.
It could have been easily. It could have been.
Yeah, I mean, they look about the right age.
The thing is they don't. That flashback, you don't know exactly when it is. Right. So it could have been in many. There's a wide range of years that moment could have been in, and it very well could have been that moment. I'm not saying I believe this theory, but I think that would be really cool if they decide to go the route to have Luke Skywalker back. That would be cool, because when we've talked about Jedi coming back, I haven't seen anybody mention Leia, which I think they're moving on from Leia personally. With Carrie's death. With Carrie's death, I think they're finally starting to move away from it, except when she can be mentioned here and there in comics and stuff like that. But I think Luke is a pretty possible outcome. I know a lot of people don't like that fact, but I have no problem with Luke Skywalker being back. You can never give me enough.
Dude, especially if they got Sebastian Stan to play him.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. But real quick before we say anything, back to the TikTok, dude, shout out to those TikTok creators out there for coming up with these such relevant theories and things that are really, really good. There's a few really good ones out there. So I encourage you guys to go find them because they have some really good stuff to talk about and really good ideas. So
Definitely. I've learned a lot, just seeing a lot of hidden facts after the fact. But you can never give me enough, Luke.
They definitely got enough money to do whatever.
What I was going to say was, think back to our first episode talking about this season. We were talking about little Easter eggs. It was our Easter egg video. It was our podcast where we did the Easter eggs of the first episode. You said, it's not like that. They're just these subtle things. They're not like, hey, here's Luke Skywalker. They're just these subtle things for the original trilogy. You said that. At the time, we were like, yeah, I mean, that is the max. That is like, it would be wild. So it almost unbelievable to see Luke. But at the point we're at now, I think it's very believable.
Anything can happen, bro.
I think
anything.
It's exciting. And I said it on.
How do you feel about these theories about Mace?
Did we talk about this on the phone or did we record about this?
I'm not sure. For those of you who don't know, Nick and I talk about this stuff a lot when we're not on air. So
I know. So it kind of blends together sometimes. But
it does.
Regardless, I mean, I doubt anybody would have listened to that exact clip if we did record it. So let's just talk about Mace Windu again. I think it would be dope. Clearly, bro, I would be so excited.
He's the right age. He would look like such a badass if he's like beat to hell, just completely ruined. He would look so dope.
He would. And I think what it would come down to is a lot of people, anybody who knows the Jedi, we know that they can survive high falls. I know he was being shocked by the Emperor, but when you look at how long the Emperor was being shocked for by the Force lightning, he was under there for like a good 40, 45 seconds of just this energy just absorbing in his body. Mace only took about maybe 10 seconds max of it and then got tossed. So I'm sure it hurt. Don't get me wrong.
Palpatine didn't die from that.
No, he didn't.
Took it 5 times as long.
No, but I don't think he would have died from the lightning. I think that scene suggested that he died from the combination of the two. But even so, I don't think that combination is enough to kill one of the most powerful Jedi on the Jedi Council.
Dude.
So it could happen.
Could we just talk about Sam Jackson?
What about him?
Everything he does is cool.
How about the Civil War? Not Civil War. Captain America: Winter Soldier. The scene where he's in his SUV. Incredible. He is. He's awesome, man. Shout out to him for making these characters. Nick Fury and Mace Windu.
Even more than that, though, it's not just outside of the nerd stuff, like just classic movies.
Oh, it's nerd stuff.
It is nerd stuff.
Jurassic Park. But yeah, I would love Mace Windu again. I just worry that people would see it as them trying to do too much. I don't think it would be, because if you know Star Wars decently well, you would think it's very possible that Mace Windu would be alive. I think he could survive, and I don't know. I could see him showing up. The only problem where these things get difficult is you can bring in all these characters from the prequel trilogy, from the original trilogy, anything. Well, specifically the prequel trilogy, you can bring back these characters, but if you think they're dead and now they're alive, like, you start to wonder, where were they during that's a big plot thing. You can't, if Mace Windu's alive, where was he when the ultimate evil was getting triumphed?
I agree to a point, because
Obi-Wan was doing what he had to do to contribute.
But he knew what was happening.
Yeah.
The thing about look at Rebels in particular. Like, Phoenix Squadron had no idea there was a rebellion out there.
Yeah.
Or a rebellion forming. I get, you can make the argument like Mace obviously can sense the Force and like he would know like what's going on. Yeah. But what do you know? If he's across the galaxy.
You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see if we're gonna see Mace Windu, I think we should see him as I think it'd be cool to see him as a Force ghost. I think it would be cool to see.
I don't think he'd do that though.
I think
I don't think he physically could.
No, I'm saying in some type of media, whether it be comics or a book, I think we need another exchange between Mace Windu and Yoda. Because they were arguably the two most powerful Jedi.
Yeah,
Two of.
I don't think Mace could ever
Really?
I don't think he could do. I don't think he could physically do that.
What do you mean?
Like, he just wasn't the most spiritual.
Yeah, but he
And if
knew
you
the
look at,
Force.
but did he ever? The thing
We
about it,
don't.
if you're gonna be a Force ghost, you have to train to be one.
Well,
So,
not really, because Qui-Gon didn't figure it out until he was dead.
yeah, but he had a little understanding.
Yeah,
He was
I
so
guess.
like he was just so spiritual. Like, so
Yeah.
he was like I think he was a couple steps ahead.
Oh yeah, that's obvious. That's obvious. He was ahead.
Right.
I think we're getting a little bit off track. So we were going from Luke to Mace. Let's get back to the main Grogu storyline. We talked about The Rock. Let's move into him getting taken by the Dark Troopers.
Bro, if Grogu's eyes getting huge and wide is not like the epitome of sorrow, I don't want to know what really is.
He was. I don't know if you noticed this, but in the concept art, when you see Baby Yoda flying up with the troopers from Mando's point of view,
He looks so upset.
yes, but he's not crying. Like he looks worried. He's like, it's almost like he's like, Dad, what's happening to me? But it was pretty powerful because in the concept art, you saw Grogu with tears running out of his eyes, with his mouth wide open. He was a little baby crying. And I was like, I saw that concept art. I was like, wow, I've never seen an emotion like that from him, you know? So I'm kind of glad we didn't get that.
Right.
That would like scar people, man. That'd be
It's
too
seriously.
sad.
Yeah.
Too sad, man. But I don't know. That was rough to see him get taken. How does Moff Gideon know that when he uses the Force, it makes him tired?
Well, he did get experimented on a little bit.
Yeah, but not when Moff Gideon was there. And I
No,
bet,
but I'm
and I bet
sure.
he didn't use the Force. I would not think that he used the Force because at that point he was still hiding his powers. We had only seen it a couple. I don't think we'd seen it one time with the Mudhorn. Him use the Force when we meet him and when he gets taken by the Imperials and has some blood taken. We've only seen him use the Force once. So I think at that point in time, he was still smart enough to know that he should hide his true power from them. But at the point in season 1, now I think he felt like there was a legitimate threat, and he's attached to Din now. He's attached to these people, and he knows that with these troopers and getting taken by them, he knows that's not the place where he needs to be.
Here's a thought. Maybe I don't know if this is an actual thing or not, but maybe that's just a common youngling thing. Like when they first start, or maybe not necessarily youngling, like anyone who starts to use the Force, like a good whenever, like obviously he's not very trained. Maybe the side effect of first using it is getting tired.
Oh well, I agree, and put it in terms of Luke. Luke used it so hard he died. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I could definitely see that happening.
It's just like
Has it
doing
happened?
anything, like running or working out, whatever. You gotta build yourself up. So you're physically doing something. You're using your body and mind to physically
It's
move
like
objects.
you're exactly right, because when you're working out, we both go to the gym. When you're done, your body is tired, but you're not using your brain like that in the gym. You're just using your physical body. But with the Force, you will be using primarily your mind. And that would make how our muscles get tired. It would make our brain tired if we were doing something that's strenuous on it. So I can definitely see that, especially with an undeveloped mind.
Right.
But I just still...
And maybe Moff Gideon just knows that.
True. Yep. I think it was interesting how Moff Gideon ignites the Darksaber. He says something along the lines of, "You can't play with these yet." So I think the goal is to clone him, but also to get him on their side. I think he definitely wants the kid as an ally.
Dude, I'd be so excited to see him like flipping around and stuff like when Yoda fights Dooku.
Yoda. He will.
Like just a little tiny version of it too. Just
yep, it'd be cool.
Ooh.
Goodness. So, I noticed something in a picture of Moff Gideon, and I don't know if it's Giancarlo Esposito's teeth or something, but when he has the saber ignited, and this is a far-fetched theory, right? He has the saber ignited, and in his teeth, two of them almost look like they have something metal between it. So I'm looking at this picture, and it's kind of small. Maybe it's my eyes, but I was just thinking, it's kind of obvious. He's smiling very deep, and it looks like metal between his teeth.
I mean, it could just be like a filling.
That's what I was thinking. But I'm like, what if that's one of those that's one of those tiny little things what if that's one of those tiny little hints that, hey, this guy has one of these chips in his tooth, so he is reporting to someone as well. So we know that he's not in the lead, and that if it comes down to it, he should be ready to pull the plug too.
Jeez.
I don't know. Like it was far-fetched. I just noticed it. I was like, shoot. I mean, if he has one of those, that would honestly say a lot that he's not directly in command.
Oh, no doubt.
He's
obviously not.
He's a scary dude, man. Oh, obviously. But that confirms it too. He's a scary dude. He is intimidating.
Bro, him as an actor is very intimidating.
Yeah, he usually
if you look at like his
guy.
role, yeah, he plays the bad guy, and he plays him very well.
Yeah,
it's just because he's so calm.
He's ruthless without
speaking. He'll literally be like, "Okay, just put a saber through his chest. All right, peace." Like
he has no remorse.
No.
At all.
And that's how he is in all his roles.
I thought another interesting about Baby Yoda using the Force on these stormtroopers was seeing, again, you said it a couple weeks ago, how expendable they are. He literally knows that he could easily kill them, and I don't know if he did kill them. I don't remember if we like see them drag them out or if we eventually see them stand up. I can't remember, but he doesn't give a damn that he's just slinging these two fully grown men around a room.
Dude, that was awesome.
And like choking them. So he doesn't give a damn about it.
No shot. Dude, that was really cool.
That was very cool.
I'm glad Moff Gideon let him do it too.
For sure.
Let it happen. Like
he needed to get the full. Like he needed to make him tired.
Right.
Another way we could tell he's just remorseful and he's just ruthless is, I think, by the way, you learn a lot about people, the way they treat other people and the way they look at other people. And if you look at something as less, that kind of says a lot about you as a person. And with Moff Gideon and Grogu, I thought it was interesting that when he was telling the stormtroopers to get handcuffs, he doesn't say shackle him. He says put it in shackles. So he sees Baby Yoda. He doesn't see it as a
living thing.
Well, yeah, he sees it as a living thing, but not as a person. He just sees it as this powerful creature, a tool. He sees it as a tool for him to dominate. And he just put it in shackles. That hit me because they're just treating him like a prisoner. And you don't want to see Baby Yoda go through that. That's intense. That's heartbreaking. Oh, goodness.
Really
Let's get on some happier subjects. Let's talk about his rescue. Because it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a couple big questions. Who's on the team? It will happen either way. I 100% think that in the end, Grogu will be rescued. I think the two big questions are who is on this team rescuing him, and is it going to be in season 2 or in season 3?
I think personally, so with this team, okay, I don't personally think it's going to stay those 4 characters. So, like, obviously, we got Din, we got Boba, we got Fennec, and what was the other dude's name?
I can't remember. He was the guy from the prison where he left them.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I don't think Boba will make it through the season. I think he'll die. I think we're going to see Boba Fett's death in The Mandalorian.
I think it's very possible. Yeah, but it's going to be an honorable death, and we've talked about this. It's going to be a hero's death because the term Boba Fetted means dying in a almost laughable way.
Right.
That's a term, and to have one of the most iconic characters in film as a whole, it's Boba Fett. To have him die that way and that be his legacy in Star Wars, I think they brought him back to show, hey, all of you naysayers, you're wrong. He's badass. He's one of the best bounty hunters we've ever seen, and he didn't die a dishonorable death. He's gonna die a hero. He was a bounty hunter, but we have grown close to many bounty hunters, and I think he's gonna die in that hero's death. You know?
I agree. Completely agree.
Back to the team, though.
You're
saying you don't think it's always going to be those four?
I think they'll robe in and out.
Yeah, for sure. Because you can't have it
like who else? Because so right now we're looking at what could our possible list be? Those four: Cara Dune, Ahsoka,
Bo-Katan, and those two Mandalorians.
And those other two, agreed.
Grief Karga.
And
Grief Karga.
Grief Karga, and then
he's pretty old though.
Any of those Death Watch that survived.
Yeah. There's got to be a couple. Frog Lady, can't forget her.
Frog Lady, the bug dude. What's his name?
Oh my gosh.
Big ant-looking thing.
I know. I don't know. It could be. We could have a solid group. I think they're. I don't.
Dude, can you imagine Frog Lady and like her babies like being like kind of like Ninja Turtles, like just like little tiny ones, just hopping all over the place, and like little daggers or something.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We're really getting down the rabbit hole on this one. Frog Lady, man. But let's go. Who else do we think could be there? We could have the two go on a more wide scale. Do you think this is something that the rebellion would get in? Because clearly Cara Dune in the episode where it was the entire episode for the most part was on that planet where we see Baby Yoda get left at the school. We see the rebel pilot or the rebel official come up there in his exchange with Cara Dune. He's talking about there's something going on in the Outer Rim. He's like, there's something going on out here. We know about it on the core world. So he's like, we just need people's help. Like pretty much that's what he said. He was like, we just need people to go against us. They know something is forming. Baby Yoda going to the Imperial side is literally the game changer in the galaxy at this point, I think. Or being with M count as high as him. That's huge. So if the rebel knows, that's a Death Star type of maneuver, man. If you give the Empire something that powerful, are you dancing?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Is Alex drunk? Goodness.
No.
He was going down a train of thought, I'm sure. But like, I'm sure that the Alliance or the New Republic, they will, if they know the Empire's forming. I was saying before you started dancing, if you give the Empire, if you give evil something with so much power, you condemn the galaxy. And I think Grogu might be the missing link to the Empire succeeding for good, you know?
100%, bro. I think that as soon as Din, I'm surprised like she didn't do anything about it at first. As soon as Din mentioned to Cara, oh, they have the child, her first thing she should have done was contact those dudes.
Well, we didn't see what, like it cut the scene cut right after.
Right.
What do you mean she has eyes on?
She goes, hey, I have a confirmed, confirmed sighting of Imperial Star Destroyers or whatever.
Who has, but what do you mean she has
Din,
sighting?
like Din, Din tells her first thing she should have just gone and told the New Republic.
Yeah, I get that. And I'm like, she might have easily done that. We just didn't see we didn't see it after that because at that point it cuts to the Empire side of this story.
Right. That's all I was saying.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, so we can see a decent team up. Is there anybody we're forgetting? I don't think there is, but if we're wrong and you guys are listening, if there's someone we're missing, please let us know. But I don't know. So what else? I don't want to.
We could see a rebuild of IG-11.
I know, dude. I was thinking that. I just didn't say it. Like that would be awesome to see him.
I know
It won't happen, but
it
it would
won't
be
happen
awesome
if
to
he
see.
is gone.
Yep. Yep. A hero's death.
Yeah,
Think with Moff Gideon having the dark saber, I think that's the main point that Bo-Katan is coming back. That is her mission, to get that
100%.
saber. So I think if she sees the opportunity to team up with some of the biggest badasses in the galaxy to go get this saber and get the kid, I think that we're in for it. We are in for it, folks. All right,
dude,
so
it's gonna be sick.
it is. It is. Any final thoughts? Any Star Wars news before we hit it?
It's a little bit old now, but you see, they pushed Kenobi production to start in January.
Yes, they brought it up. I'm very pumped about that. The Cassian series is officially filming right now in London.
Hell yeah,
Oh man, we have more Star Wars on the way.
bro.
Kenobi. We'll do an episode about Kenobi. We have to.
Oh,
Matt,
no
all right,
doubt.
so we do live reactions to The Mandalorian, right? I cannot wait to do reactions to Kenobi because the little kid in me will awaken when we see a flashback of Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. You will see a partially grown man in me cry. So I'm not fully grown. I hope.
I'll be right there with you, buddy.
You people will see me cry. You know, that's how Star Wars gets us. That's the Star Wars we grew up on. That Anakin as a Padawan and Jedi Knight is what we grew up on. So seeing that again compared to some of the stuff that original trilogy fans are seeing in this one, it's incredible. I'm an original OT fan as well, but you know I didn't grow up on those, but so I don't have that kind of connection that they did as kids. But that's in our wheelhouse, man.
It really is.
Fun. Yep. All right. So any Marvel news? Because you know we do talk about Marvel as well. Disney Plus on Twitter, or no, Marvel Studios has posted 3 new posters for WandaVision in the past like day or so, and it's all of the same TV but with a different decade on the screen. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm very confused about the direction of that show.
Yeah,
I think that's the point. I think that's the point, though.
Oh yeah, and superhero sitcom of 2 Infinity Stones. Oh my goodness. Funko Pops. You know, we can't end the show without talking about some pops. How about that Obi-Wan Kenobi Force Ghost pop coming out? 3,000 are being made, and you can sign up for your chance, just your chance to buy it. You're not signing up for a chance to win the pop. You're a chance to buy it. Man, I wonder how much it's going to cost. For everybody who knows, you can sign up at StarWarsCelebration.com, and then you will be notified next Wednesday if you win, and you can have the chance to buy this Star Wars Celebration exclusive Obi-Wan Kenobi pop. So, how much do you think it's going to cost?
I can't imagine it being any more than 25.
You think? I'm wondering because when you think of a Disney Parks exclusive, the Madame Leota pop, I'm looking at it right now, glow in the dark haunted mansion. That pop was being sold at Disney and online for $25. $25.
Well, the thing is, you're buying those at the park too.
Yes, but you can also get that. But this is a Star Wars celebration, so you can say the same thing. They're sold virtually, but it is an event. Like there are 3,000 being made, only 3,000. So I would not be surprised. I'm not saying this is gonna. I would not be surprised if it was like $40. Seeing the prices of the current gear from Star Wars Celebration, I would not be surprised to see that pop in the $40-ish range. But the good thing about that is that'll hinder a lot of people from buying it that win. So maybe if you don't win on the first 2 rounds, you'll still get an opportunity. Got to be checking the emails.
We'll see.
Yep. Any more pops that
Nope. I just got my new shipment of the new Clone Wars line in yesterday.
Yep.
Pretty pumped about those.
I'm still waiting. Still waiting. A
Hmm.
big rearrange is coming with my Funko Pop section. Big rearrange. Gonna have some pops up for sale too. which I'm excited to kind of slim down other parts of the collection. But we've talked about that on the phone enough.
Oh, no doubt.
All right. But everybody, I'm sorry we got a little off topic. We were just, having some nerd talk, nerd convos. That's what we're all about here. For those of you who made it this far, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. It wouldn't be possible without you guys. We love interacting with you guys on social media. We've gotten a lot of friends through this outlet. So thank you for that. Don't forget to follow us and subscribe. Check out our new merch drop. We have a Boba Fett exclusive shirt coming out, which Alec designed up. It looks pretty cool. It's kind of an homage to Marvel at the same time, but you guys will see that announcement. But again, guys, thank you. Alec, what do you got?
Same thing, man. Thank you guys for sticking with us. We love, we love that you guys listen to what we have to offer, and it means a lot to us. So, just be on the lookout for more stuff coming soon, the next week, couple weeks. So,
yep, we have our chapter 50. Yeah, we're on chapter 15 now, right? Chapter 15 reaction coming out next weekend. It honestly depends on, how YouTube accepts the video. Hopefully it's out Friday, but if it's anything like our first one, it might be out Saturday. So be prepared for that. And obviously we're going to have episode 20 of the podcast coming out next week, which is unbelievable that we're at 20 already. But until then, guys, thank you for joining us, and may the Force be with you.
Remember, the Force will be with you.